If you work, or even if you don't work, if you're a person who maybe you work at a business with an IT department or a service desk, a help desk, people you call for IT help. Maybe you're a student at a university and you interact with technology and sometimes need help. Maybe you're a person, a consumer who uses anything and sometimes you need customer service. Maybe you have walked into the Comcast store, called Comcast, called Xfinity, called AT&T. Maybe you have walked into a retail establishment and needed help and you've got an associate to help you, walk through the steps, purchase something. I've been involved in customer service pretty much my entire career, and I've taught people how to interact with customers and provide good customer service for many, many years. But one thing that I don't think we teach very often and that no one is taught is how do we as customers, as consumers, how can we best interact with customer service and how can we be a good customer? And more importantly, how can you not be that person who drives everyone else around you crazy? Many organizations have something called a customer service index, if you will. What this is a lot of times we're sending out surveys to you that's saying, hey, how did we do? And you give a thumbs up, thumbs down. Maybe it's a phone call after the service that you press the buttons to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Maybe it's that, hey, here's your receipt. If you look at the back, you will see that there's a link that you can go to and fill out this survey and be entered to win a $1,000 drawing. You have heard this at least once. I guarantee it that you've come across this. But how many of you actually fill out that survey? I can probably wager that 99% of you don't take time to fill out the survey because you're like, this is a waste of time. I didn't have a super terrible interaction, so I'm not going to fill it out, and you throw out that survey. Maybe you had a great interaction, maybe you did have a terrible interaction, but you're just not going to take time to fill out the survey. Not filling out the survey can be detrimental to the company and to the person that helped you. If you're looking at an organization like customer service, like let's talk about retail or even the food industry, okay? Like a McDonald's or a Panera, something where you've gone in and you've talked to someone who has served you. They provide you that survey and they're incentivizing that survey. You'll be entered to win a prize for $1,000 or Chipotle for life or whatever it is. So they're incentivizing that survey. Why would the company incentivize that survey? Either they just really want to be able to give you more options to win things from them and they want to give you things, or they actually want your feedback. Your feedback helps them grow as a company. I've worked in organizations who have looked at that survey a little too black and white. In IT, you have to take these surveys with a large grain of salt. If I have a agent who helps a customer and they did everything they possibly could for the customer, but the customer still wasn't happy with the outcome. Maybe the customer really wanted to use Word 2003 and hey, that's outdated, we can't do that. Maybe they didn't like the latest Mac operating system update and they want to roll back. I'm sorry, Apple doesn't support that anymore. Maybe they have an app and we just can't help them with it because it's something we can't support legally. We have gotten bad surveys for all of those things. And I like to get those surveys and look at them with my agent. Hey, this person gave really bad feedback, but you know what? I don't care because this person didn't say anything about you. You did everything right. I listened to your call was excellent, you provided great customer service. But because you provided bad survey because you didn't like the answer and you gave the person all ones on the survey or all zeros, whatever it be, you may be affecting that agent who didn't do anything wrong. I used to write these customer surveys and I had a section where you could rank the agent on individual things. Their knowledge of the issue, friendliness, timeliness, how long did you wait on the phone, how long did it take them to resolve your issue or get you something else, and then I had an overall score. Many times if someone isn't satisfied with the outcome, they will go in and they'll give all ones. Why would you give all ones? You gave the person ones for knowledge. I'm sorry, that person knows a lot more than you. And I can prove that person knows a lot more than you because you thought that your Windows 10 computer should still be able to use WordPerfect for 2003. You just marked someone down because they know more than you and said they don't know anything. This is like walking into a mechanic and asking them to change your oil, and when they say this is the kind of oil your vehicle can take, no, I don't want you to put oil in my oil can. I want you to put water in. We can't put water in. That's not how this works. No, you need to put water in my car. That's what you're saying. When you tell a customer service worker in any industry industry who knows a lot more about that industry than you do, you don't know anything, I'm likely to throw out that survey because you didn't take time to actually read the survey questions. You didn't take enough time to respect the survey, so why would I respect your answers? I have had people submit surveys where they will give the employee was 3 for knowledge, timeliness was a 5, the service overall I think was a 2, and then they write a comment on why. I love that. I would much rather have across the board. I would much rather you have me tell me that you felt my employee's knowledge was not as where it should be because they hemmed and hawed, maybe they had to put you on hold and ask a few questions. I would rather have you tell me that and be honest and give me different answers for different questions, because then I know you're thinking about the survey. That survey is very important to me so I can coach the employee. If my employee swore at you on the phone and you didn't fill out a survey, why would you not tell me that my employee swore at you on the phone? I would expect my employee to tell me if a customer swore at him on the phone. Fill out the survey and try to give a comment and understand that those surveys are probably just affecting the one person that you worked with. I have had people submit surveys, give all ones and say, this software is terrible, blah, 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 and they trash the organization. You know what? That affects that employee. That doesn't affect the organization. I can't send this to upper management. If you really want to provide feedback to upper management, I need you to follow the right train of feedback to provide that. There was a time I went into a car dealership to get my vehicle looked at. I was having issues with my vehicle and I was really frustrated because I kept bringing it in for the exact same things and I had just bought it not that long ago. So I provided feedback. The way that the survey was worded was rate us overall. So I rated them overall. I think your salesperson lied to me. I had an overall rating for this dealership. And I found out later that the service rep who assisted me, so the person I talked to check in my vehicle to get worked on, that was the person who got hit for my survey responses. When I specifically marked that person as excellent customer service, everything for that person and all my comments, their manager, who was a bad manager, I want to be very clear, marked them down and punished them because I wrote a negative review about another part of their organization in a survey that asked me to rate their organization as a whole. That's poor management. But as a customer, we need to realize that survey might affect that one employee, that one associate we worked with, more than it will the entire organization. So the next time you get one of these surveys on a receipt or after a chat or after a phone call, please take time to think about what sort of information you're giving back to the organization and what you want to tell them. Maybe you had a completely innocuous experience. Nothing was good, nothing was bad. I still try to fill out those surveys. Maybe you had a really great experience. Those are the ones I want you to fill out more. If you go into a place and you have a great experience, if you call somewhere and have a great experience, I want you to fill out those surveys. Because guess what? After having worked in customer service for so many years, I can tell you we see very few surveys of people who are happy and had a really good experience. The people who fill out surveys often are the ones who are just mad. And a lot of times they're ones who are not mad with any sort of substance. They're just angry. They're angry about something else entirely and they're taking it out on the poor customer service person. We can't learn anything from that and I can't coach from that. If you're screaming about a piece of software, well, my employee has nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with that. The company has nothing to do with that because we don't make the software. That's not providing me any value, so you have wasted your time by filling out the survey that way. But if you're using those surveys as they are intended to give feedback to the management about that employee, I know it's hard because I'm asking you to fill out a survey and to give advice, and you'll never know if the company takes the advice or not. Maybe they are looking at the surveys, maybe they're not. We just don't know. But I want you to keep in mind that good customer surveys, good customer service surveys will affect that person you worked with a lot more than you could probably realize, especially in those industries that they get bonuses for that, they get employee of the month for that, they get recognition. You might not even know which companies you interact with that do that. So what's the harm in filling out a survey when you have an awesome experience with someone? And managers will often share that good feedback with their employees. If you're going to provide negative feedback, make sure you're providing negative feedback where it actually goes. If you did receive a negative experience from a specific individual, call that out. I have filled out multiple surveys where I walk into the company and I'm getting service, and the employees behind the counter are talking to each other about work things or other things or work shifts. I've been there when the manager has been there, basically having an employee meeting behind the desk, and I could hear it as a customer. He should not have been having that discussion in front of customers, because really all it showed me was that that person didn't know how to run his business. And all of his employees had a bad manager, which is kind of sad, because those employees have to deal with that, and those employees will leave him. Because employees don't leave bad jobs, employees leave bad bosses, poor management, and companies where they don't feel valued or respected. Never berate your employees in front of a customer. Never have those conversations in front of a customer. That's just poor business. And if your employees are talking to each other about things behind the counter that they really shouldn't be talking about in front of customers, and I get a survey, you can bet that you'll hear about it on the survey. If you want to have a non-work related conversation with a customer, you want to talk about that movie that just came out, that video game y'all are playing, that's fine. I love those conversations and I can engage with those because that makes your employees personable. But I don't want them arguing about Sherry who didn't come into her shift for 2 days in a row and now you have to be here filling in for her. I don't want to hear that, and I shouldn't have to hear that. And if I do hear that, you're probably going to be hearing from me if you're the manager. I have filled out hundreds of customer surveys. I have never once received $1,000 or $10,000 or a free pizza, any sort of incentive that has been offered. Would I love to get some of these freebies? Absolutely. That's not why I fill out the survey. I fill out the survey because I want to provide good feedback. And I have had people, hey, come back in, we'll make it right, we'll do this. And that's really appreciated, but most of the time that's not what I'm looking for. I don't necessarily need a kickback. All I want is to make sure that your employees are taken care of, that they're getting good feedback, and that your good employees are getting recognized. And I want to make sure that your management understands what they're doing. That's why I'm providing these. I want to make sure that your management knows what's going on, because they can't see everything and they are outside of the customer experience. Your managers rarely will understand what it's like to be a customer walking into your company. So it's important that they receive that feedback. And it's still important to encourage your customers to fill out that survey. Don't bludgeon them over the head with it, but offer the survey. Let them know that it's there, and let them know that we really do appreciate any feedback you can provide. If you reward your employees because of the survey, your employees probably should be saying that a little more. Hey, just so you know, there's a survey on the back. If you liked my service today, I would really appreciate you filling that out for me, and it really helps me out. Thanks. There's nothing wrong with that. If it's an IT thing, if it's a help desk thing, and you fill out the survey and you bring up other problems, that's not the place to do that. Don't put that in the survey. It'll get lost. If you still have problems, call back in, please. That's a great way to really frustrate me when I look at the surveys at the end of the month and found out that you called in on the 2nd of the month. Once the ticket was taken care of, you submitted a survey and said, oh, also I'm having issues with this. That got lost for a month because I only go through surveys once a month. And now you're mad because you think you reported your issue to someone. You didn't. You put it on a survey. That's not where that goes. Call back in, email back in. Don't put additional questions on a survey. I hope you found this video insightful and helpful. Maybe you have never filled out a survey, maybe you fill them out all the time, but please try to fill out surveys positively. Make sure you put positive feedback on surveys. And if you're going to provide negative feedback, try to at least give something positive as well. That's kind of the way that we coach our employees anyway, and it means a lot in a survey seeing someone say they were fast, they were efficient, but they felt kind of rude. But if you receive a good customer service experience, provide good feedback. If you receive a bad customer service experience, provide bad feedback. But this is your challenge. Provide more good feedback than bad, and always wrap your bad feedback in some good feedback. Hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and hopefully you'll be able to use this in your daily life. Please like, subscribe, comment if you will, and share with someone who maybe they're also a consumer and they buy things and interact with people and get surveys that they don't take. Let's start providing good feedback to the people who give us customer service. It really is the least we can do, and it goes a long way. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.